In the sprawling expanse of the galactic hub, creatures of all shapes and sizes bustled about, each with their own purposes and pursuits. Among them, a small creature with glistening fur that shimmered with the hues of a distant nebula lay abandoned on a busy intersection. It was an orlynx, a species renowned for their loyalty and intelligence, often kept as companions by the wealthier citizens across the galaxies. The orlynx, named Zephyr by its former owner, lay curled up, its breathing shallow and uneven. It had been left there with a small note attached to a digital collar that simply read, "Defective requires too much care." As beings rushed past, none spared more than a fleeting glance at the pitiful sight. On this particular day, the market square was unusually crowded. Merchants from various star systems hawked exotic goods, and tourists from remote colonies took in the sights and sounds. The air buzzed with a multitude of languages and the sense of interstellar cuisine. Amidst this chaos, a small human child broke away from her parents' watchful eyes. Curiosity guided her tiny feet towards the heap of shimmering fur. Unlike others, she approached Zephyr with a look of concern etched across her young face. "Mommy, look!" she called out, tugging at her mother's hand. "There's a sad animal over here." Her mother, distracted by a merchant's display, took a moment before her daughter's words registered. With a gentle smile, she followed her daughter's gaze and knelt beside her. "Ah, it's an orlynx, sweetie. But it looks like it's been hurt," she explained, her voice soft but filled with a tinge of sadness. "Why would someone leave it here like this?" the girl asked, her brows furrowed. "Some beings think of pets as accessories, honey. When they're no longer convenient, they abandon them," her mother replied, her voice a blend of disgust and pity. The girl reached out a hesitant hand towards Zephyr. At her touch, the creature stirred slightly, its large, limpid eyes opening to meet hers. It seemed to assess her, a flicker of hope igniting in its gaze. "Can we help it, Mommy? Please?" she pleaded, looking up at her mother with earnest eyes. Her mother sighed, weighing the complications of taking in an alien species. They were far from home, just a small family visiting the hub for trade purposes. Yet the determination in her daughter's eyes was not something she could easily deny. "All right, we'll take it to the vet here at the hub. Let's see what they say." With gentle hands, the mother scooped up Zephyr, surprised by the lightness of its body. The orlynx's fur was soft to the touch, but beneath it, she could feel the stark protrusion of bones, a sign of severe neglect. The family made their way to the nearest veterinary clinic that specialized in non-human species. The vet, a towering creature known as Dr. Helson, examined Zephyr with a series of tools that hummed and flashed with lights of different colors. "Severe malnutrition, and it looks like it's been through some trauma. Not just physical, but emotional as well," Dr. Helson concluded, his deep voice resonating in the sterile room. "It's going to need a lot of care, a special diet, and most importantly, a lot of love." "Can we do it, Mommy?" the child asked again, her eyes wide with hope. The mother nodded, stroking her daughter's hair. "We'll do it together." As they prepared to leave the clinic with Zephyr, the vet handed them a small box of nutrients and a care guide specifically designed for orlynx. The mother thanked him, her heart swelling with pride for her daughter's unreserved compassion. That day, Zephyr gained more than a sanctuary. It found a family. As they walked back to their spacecraft, the small creature nestled against the girl, its tail wagging faintly. In the eyes of the young girl and her mother, a new chapter had begun. As the family's spacecraft drifted away from the galactic hub, the vastness of space enveloped them like an endless ocean. Inside, Zephyr's new life began to unfold. The small orlynx gradually regained strength, its fur regaining its iridescent sheen under the care of its new human family. Each day brought small victories and challenges, as they all adjusted to the nuances of caring for a creature from the stars. In the cozy confines of the ship, the girl named Ellie dedicated herself to Zephyr's rehabilitation. She followed the vet's instructions meticulously, mixing nutrients into Zephyr's food and ensuring it drank enough water. Her mother, Mara, took care of the ship's operations, but always kept a watchful eye on the pair, her heart filled with a mix of pride and worry. As weeks turned into months, Zephyr began to show its true nature. It was not just a creature of beauty, but also of remarkable intelligence. It quickly learned to respond to basic commands and even started to communicate in its own way, using a series of chirps and body movements to express its needs and feelings. Ellie spent hours teaching Zephyr new tricks, using treats from the vet as rewards. One evening, as the stars outside painted a backdrop of glittering diamonds, Ellie taught Zephyr to fetch small objects around the ship. The game was simple. She would toss a small, soft ball across the room, and Zephyr would chase after it, its movements still a bit unsteady but improving rapidly. "Good job, Zephyr!" Ellie clapped her hands in delight as the Orlynx returned the ball to her for the 5th time, its tail wagging energetically. Mara watched from the doorway, a smile playing on her lips. The bond between Ellie and Zephyr had grown strong, each day weaving a deeper connection that transcended species. One day, while navigating through a lesser-known sector of space, their ship encountered a distress signal emanating from a nearby abandoned mining asteroid. Curiosity piqued. Mara decided to investigate, much to Ellie's excitement. As they approached the asteroid, the signal grew stronger. Mara maneuvered the ship into a stable orbit, and together with Ellie and Zephyr, she prepared to board the deserted site. The asteroid's surface was rugged, covered in craters and dust, a silent testament to its long-forgotten purpose. Inside, the asteroid was eerily silent, the only sounds being the soft hum of their suits and their own breathing. They moved cautiously through the dark tunnels, their lights cutting through the gloom. Suddenly, Zephyr stopped, its body tense, ears perked up. "What is it, Zephyr?" Ellie whispered, gripping her mother's hand. Zephyr chirped lowly, its eyes fixed on a shadowy corner. As they approached, the shadow moved, revealing a small group of robotic mining drones. They were huddled together, inactive but not beyond repair. Mara examined the drones closely. These looked like they were left here after the mine was depleted. But why send a distress signal? She pondered aloud. Ellie, looking around, noticed a control panel blinking intermittently. Maybe it's coming from there. Together they investigated the panel, Mara's skilled hands quickly navigating through the old system. It turned out the drones were programmed to seek help if left inactive for too long, a protocol meant to prevent valuable equipment from being wasted. "Looks like we found the source of the distress call." The corridors of the ship hummed with the quiet rhythm of engines as it navigated through the cosmic labyrinth of stars and nebulae. Mara, ever vigilant at the helm, monitored their course, while Ellie continued to nurture her bond with Zephyr. The Orlynx had become more than just a pet. It was a member of their little family, its unique presence bringing a new dimension of joy and companionship to their travels. One day, as they skirted the edge of a binary star system, a series of anomalies on their instruments caught Mara's attention. The readings were erratic, suggesting a field of spatial disturbances, a common hazard in such volatile regions. "Ellie, secure Zephyr and stay inside," Mara instructed, her voice calm but firm as she prepared to navigate the precarious area. Ellie nodded, understanding the seriousness of her mother's tone. She scooped Zephyr into her arms, feeling its body tense with unease. Animals often sense dangers before humans did, and Zephyr's reaction only heightened her own apprehension. As Mara expertly maneuvered the ship through the star system, a sudden, stronger wave of gravitational force pulled at them. The ship shuddered, groaning under the strain, its shields flickering as they absorbed the energy surges. "Mom, are we going to be okay?" Ellie's voice trembled slightly over the comm. "Just hold on, honey. I've got this," Mara responded, her fingers flying over the controls. After what felt like an eternity, the ship finally cleared the worst of the disturbances. Mara let out a deep breath, checking over the systems to ensure everything was still operational. They had made it through, but the ship had sustained minor damage that needed attention. "I'll need to make some repairs. Ellie, you can let Zephyr out now," Mara said, her tone lighter now that the immediate danger had passed. Ellie released Zephyr, and the creature immediately began to explore the ship, sniffing at panels and occasionally chirping. Watching Zephyr, an idea sparked in Ellie's mind. "Mom, do you think Zephyr could help us detect these anomalies earlier? It seemed like he knew something was wrong before we did," Ellie proposed. Mara considered this. "That's a smart observation. We could try to correlate his reactions with our instruments. It might give us an extra warning system." Excited by the prospect, Ellie began to work on a small project, modifying a sensor that could record and analyze Zephyr's physiological responses. She spent days programming the sensor and teaching Zephyr to accept it during their travels. Meanwhile, Mara focused on repairing the ship, patching up the systems that had been frazzled by the star system's tumultuous forces. As she worked, she couldn't help but think about how far they had come, from rescuing an abandoned creature to it becoming a part of their team. Once the sensor was ready, Ellie attached it to Zephyr, who seemed curious but not bothered by the new addition. Over the next few weeks, they monitored Zephyr's reactions and compared them to their navigational readings. To their delight, they began to see patterns. Zephyr did indeed show signs of distress moments before their instruments detected anomalies. The data helped Mara adjust their routes more efficiently, avoiding unseen dangers and making their travel safer. Their innovative use of Zephyr's natural abilities attracted the attention of other travelers and researchers in the sectors they visited. News spread of the human family who had not only saved an alien life but also found a way to integrate it so meaningfully into space travel. Ellie was proud of their achievements and of Zephyr. Their connection had grown beyond companionship. They were now a team, each member playing a crucial role in their collective well-being in the vast. As their reputation grew within the interstellar community, the family found themselves approached by various scientific coalitions and independent researchers interested in Zephyr's unique abilities and their implications for space travel. Among these was Dr. Lean, a xenobiologist renowned for her work in interspecies communication. Dr. Lean's interest lay not only in Zephyr's early detection capabilities, but also in the broader potential for understanding how different life forms could contribute to human activities in space. She reached out to Mara and Ellie with an invitation to join a collaborative research project at a well-equipped facility on the orbiting station around Alpha 5, a planet known for its dedication to scientific advancement. The offer was compelling. It promised not only to provide a platform for further enhancing Zephyr's sensor technology, but also to integrate their findings into standard navigation systems used across explored space. After careful consideration, Mara agreed to the collaboration, and the family set their course for Alpha 5. Upon arriving, they were greeted by Dr. Lian and her team. The station was a hub of activity, with researchers from various fields and species working together. Zephyr, now fully embraced as both pet and participant, adapted quickly to the new surroundings, its curious nature fitting right in with the spirit of exploration that permeated the station. Dr. Lian introduced them to the core of their project, an expansive lab designed to monitor and analyze the physiological and behavioral responses of various species when exposed to different space phenomena. Here, Zephyr would not only continue his role as an anomaly detector, but also help pioneer a study on interspecies aid in exploration. Ellie was given a role as well, assisting in the data analysis and training sessions with Zephyr. Her natural knack for technology and her deep bond with Zephyr made her an invaluable member of the team. Under Dr. Lian's mentorship, she learned about the complexities of xenobiology and the delicate balance required to integrate different life forms into human technology. The project expanded, using Zephyr's data as a baseline to calibrate sensors for other creatures. Each species had unique sensitivities that, once properly understood and harnessed, could potentially offer new layers of data about the cosmos. One evening, while reviewing the data collected from a recent session, Ellie made a startling discovery. The sensors indicated that Zephyr's stress responses were not just triggered by spatial anomalies, but also by a specific pattern of electromagnetic radiation, one that was largely considered harmless to most technology and life forms. Excited by her findings, she shared them with Dr. Lian, who was equally intrigued. "This could mean that some species might be sensitive to frequencies we've deemed irrelevant. Zephyr has given us a new spectrum to consider for our navigational safety protocols," Dr. Lian theorized. Their research led to the development of a new multi-species sensor array. capable of detecting a broader range of potential dangers, and thus significantly increasing the safety of interstellar travel. Mara, proud of Ellie and Zephyr's contributions, marveled at how their journey had evolved, from rescuing an orphaned alien pet to revolutionizing space travel safety. As their findings were published and disseminated throughout the galactic communities, the impact was immediate. Navigation systems were updated with new protocols, incorporating the data derived from their project, and the concept of using bio-responsive sensors became a new frontier in space exploration technology. Amidst the technological breakthroughs and busy schedules, Ellie and Zephyr continued their daily routines, their bond a constant reminder of the unexpected paths life can take. In the quiet moments spent gazing out at the vast universe, Ellie reflected on the profound connections they had made, not only between species but between the stars themselves, all sparked by the compassion shown to one small creature in need. The acclaim surrounding their breakthrough in multi-species sensor technology brought more visitors and inquiries to the orbiting station. Among the visitors was a delegation from the Unified Galactic Council, interested in assessing the potential for widespread implementation of the new technology. They arrived with a fleet of sleek diplomatic ships, their presence signifying the importance of the discoveries made on Alphara 5. Mara, Ellie, and Zephyr were invited to demonstrate the functionality of the sensor array before the council members. As they prepared for the presentation, Mara rehearsed the technical aspects, ensuring that every point was clear and concise. Ellie focused on Zephyr, training with the creature to showcase its role in the research. During the demonstration, Zephyr performed flawlessly. The Orlinks detected simulated anomalies that Dr. Leon's team had set up, responding to them even before the most advanced instruments registered their presence. The council members, a diverse group representing various species and planets, watched in amazement as the readings from Zephyr's sensors provided real-time data that was accurate and actionable. One of the council members, an esteemed scientist from the planet Cygnus X1, raised a question that shifted the tone of the meeting. While this technology is impressive, have you considered the ethical implications of using sentient creatures in such roles? How do we ensure their welfare is not compromised? The question resonated with Mara. From the beginning, her priority had always been Zephyr's well-being. She addressed the concern with sincerity. We have established strict protocols to ensure that no creature is stressed or harmed. Our approach is symbiotic, not exploitative. We monitor their health and happiness as closely as we track the data they help us collect. Dr. Lean added, our future plans include developing synthetic sensors inspired by biological ones, which would reduce dependency on living creatures. Zephyr's role is foundational but temporary. We are here to learn from them, not to use them indefinitely. The council was satisfied with their responses, and discussions moved forward about funding and supporting the next phase of the project, which promised to expand the scope of research and its applications. In the days following the council's visit, the station buzzed with new energy. Researchers from different sectors proposed collaborative projects, and the potential for further discoveries seemed limitless. Ellie, however, noticed a subtle change in Zephyr. The Orlinks appeared more withdrawn, spending more time in quiet corners of the lab. Concerned, she mentioned this to Dr. Lien, who suggested they perform a thorough health evaluation. The results revealed that Zephyr was not ill, but possibly experiencing sensory overload from the increased activity and attention at the station. Dr. Lien recommended giving Zephyr a break from active duties, allowing the creature more time to rest and recover. Ellie spent more time with Zephyr, taking it for walks around the quieter sections of the station and playing simple games to keep it engaged without causing stress. Gradually, Zephyr's old spirit returned, its chirps more frequent and its movements more energetic. One evening, as Ellie and Zephyr watched a comet pass by from the observation deck, Ellie reflected on the delicate balance of their work. She realized that their greatest responsibility wasn't just to advance science, but to care for those who helped them reach these new heights. This lesson, taught by Zephyr's temporary withdrawal, reshaped her perspective on their mission. It wasn't only about sensors and data. It was about respecting and understanding the complex beings that made the research possible. As they continued their work, both the humans and their alien friends were more attuned to the needs and comforts of one another, forging a model of interstellar cooperation that was as compassionate as it was innovative. As the project at Alpha progressed, Ellie's role became more integral. She was not just a caretaker for Zephyr, but now a junior researcher under Dr. Lean's tutelage. Her understanding of xenobiology deepened, paralleled by her resolve to ensure that the ethical treatment of all species involved in their research remained a top priority. Mara, seeing the growth in her daughter and their pet-turned-partner, began to explore the implications of their work beyond the scientific community. She envisioned a framework for interstellar laws that would protect biosensitive species used in exploration and research, advocating for guidelines that would be adopted universally across galaxies. With the successful demonstration of the sensor technology and ethical protocols in place, the Unified Galactic Council reconvened to discuss the implementation of Mara's proposed legal framework. The council session, broadcasted live across countless worlds, featured Mara and Ellie presenting not only their technological findings, but also their recommendations for ethical guidelines. During the session, Mara spoke with a clarity and passion that resonated across species and systems. This technology, while revolutionary, brings with it a responsibility we must not ignore. The beings that help us navigate and understand our universe should not do so at the cost of their well-being. We propose a set of universal rights for all biosensitive entities, ensuring their protection and freedom. The proposal sparked a widespread debate among the council members. While some were hesitant, fearing the complexity of enforcing such laws across diverse biological and technological landscapes, others saw the necessity of such measures to prevent exploitation and ensure a balance between advancement and ethics. Ellie, meanwhile, showcased a live demonstration with Zephyr, who was now fully recovered and more vibrant than ever. This heartfelt presentation made a significant impact, illustrating the bond between species and the potential for mutual benefit and respect. Her final words struck a chord. Let's not measure our progress by what we achieve alone, but by how we lift each other up, our companions from across the stars. Moved by the compelling arguments and the clear benefits of the proposed regulations, the Council voted overwhelmingly in favor of adopting Mara's framework. The decision marked a historic moment in galactic cooperation and set a new standard for how sentient beings interacted with each other and with technology. Following the Council's decision, Ellie and Mara returned to Alpha 5, their hearts light with accomplishment and hope. The success of their initiative sparked celebrations across the station, but for Ellie, the greatest joy was seeing Zephyr's contentment and vitality, symbols of their profound impact. In the following months, Ellie took a more active role in the ongoing adaptation of the technology, ensuring that the principles they had established were integrated into all phases